Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Ringo TV Reactions. I'm your host, Ringo. We're back again with another video, guys. This particular video is coming out of North Carolina, Durham, to be exact. A woman was killed in a double shooting in Durham on Monday. Pretty much, this particular student was, attending North Carolina Central University. And the chancellor pretty much said on Tuesday, Damian Tinsley, 23, of Durham, was pronounced dead at the scene, while the student, London Powers, 21, of Durham, died at the hospital. It goes on and says a woman killed in a double shooting in Durham Monday was a student at North Carolina Central University. And police respond to gunshots on the 600 block of East Knox Street, according to a news release. Damian Tinsley, 23, of Durham, was pronounced dead at the scene, while the student London Powers, 21, of Durham, died at the hospital. Police said Tinsley was the suspect in the shooting, but have released no other details. It's crazy how a lot of people are dying out in Durham. I noticed that there's a lot of news reports of savages killing people in Durham. Gonna probably have to cover all of those stories. On Tuesday, North Carolina Central University Chancellor Carrie G. Dixon identified London as a junior social worker major from Washington, D.C. It goes on and says London's professor and peers will remember her as a vibrant, hardworking, and supportive student who poured her heart into her social work cohort, Dixon wrote. As of August 2nd, a total of 101 people had been shot in Durham this year, according to police statistics. And that just goes to show, guys, that there's a problem in the Black community. This particular shooting had happened at an apartment complex in Durham, and it just goes to show the amount of violence that is going on in the Black community. And it's just sad that in today's day, when you report on these kind of stories, you get accused of being a raccoon, a Sambo, a Fed informant, and various other things that people will associate you with when you hold the Black community accountable with these particular crimes. Let's take a look at the news stories, and then we're going to get back into this thing with more commentary, and hopefully ladies will be able to make better decisions, especially when it comes to the kind of men that you choose to date. Let's get into the news story. Let's go.
Yeah, very traumatic situation. And so we spoke with London's friend Cheyenne Boyd, and Cheyenne says that London was actually in the midst of moving out of the apartment that she shared with her ex-boyfriend at the time. She was really excited about a fresh new start, but all of that was cut short.
And she was just so happy to finally be moving out, getting her own place. The apartment she lived at with her ex-boyfriend.
Cheyenne Boyd describes the final moment she shared with her friend London Powers. They met freshman year at North Carolina Central University.
And she was also saying she would never deal with no man like that again. She said she knows the signs to look for, and she would just leave if a man ever came to her acting like that ever again.
But before that could happen, Durham police received a call from the Camden Point Apartments on Monday afternoon. Cheyenne says London's ex-boyfriend, Damian Tinsley, who once played football at St. Aug's University, showed up unexpectedly. There was a brief argument. Then Cheyenne says Damian got physical with London. That's when London tried to call 911 before things took a deadly turn.
She says her address. She's like, he has a gun. That's literally all she was able to say.
Cheyenne says Damian shot London before turning the gun and firing a shot towards her. Cheyenne says she wasn't hit and that Damian looked her in her eyes before taking his own life.
I'm on the phone with the police. I'm screaming. I'm like, somebody please help me.
Damian died at the scene, and London later died at the hospital.
I just can't believe London's not here with me. And it's just crazy. I really I just really feel bad for her family, because I just really feel bad for everybody.
London was a junior at Central studying social work and preparing to intern at the Durham Center for Senior Life. She also worked at a local Walgreens, and her death has shaken all those who knew and worked with her.
Shell shock, you know, it doesn't feel real, you know, like I said, you go from talking to somebody, seeing somebody every day, you know, saying active in messages, and then all of a sudden it's like, you know, it's a void.
And so we have just learned this evening that they are planning to hold a balloon release tomorrow at the Walgreens on Holloway Street at 7:30. Reporting live in Durham, Bianca Holman, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
North Carolina Central confirms one of the two people killed in a shooting earlier this week is one of their students.
Tonight, the family tells CBS 17 they believe this is a case of domestic violence. As Greg Funderburg reports, this is an especially difficult time for the family.
As you can imagine, it's a heartbreaking time here at North Carolina Central University for the student body to kick off the school year with one less student. And earlier today, I did speak with her sister, and she says her sister was determined to complete her goals and make something of herself. Family and friends describe London Powers as a bright light.
It's her drive and her dedication and her will to get things done, regardless of any situation.
The 21-year-old was a junior at North Carolina Central University studying to become a social worker. But Monday afternoon, her life was cut short. Durham police say she was shot in an apartment here on East Knox Street and later died at the hospital. 23-year-old Damian Tinsley died on scene, and London's sister told me via phone, this isn't fair.
She was pretty much like, you know, didn't want to be bothered with the guy. And he couldn't take that. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve that. She had goals. She was on a mission.
NCCU says Powers was a dedicated member of the NCCU Honors Program and the Undergraduate Social Work Society. Diamond says her sister will be remembered as a caring young woman who was ready to use her career as a social worker to help others.
She just basically wanted to be able to give back to the community and help other children.
If you have any information that could help Durham police with this case, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. Go to our website, cbs17.com. There you can find that number on our website. Reporting in Durham, Greg Funderburg, CBS 17 News.
You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem with the world we live in. You got these kind of savages that are out here that they don't know how to say no. I was surprised that they didn't publish a photo of the guy who pretty much took her out. And I did some research and I located a photo, guys. That's right. Of a Damian Tinsley. And basically, I believe that this is the particular guy here. Now, I blurred out or covered the eyes just in case that's not the guy. But that's the only bit of info that I got. And I believe that this is the guy because he attended the very same university and that's his name. And it also, there's other clues that you would learn if you did your research that would point to this particular guy here. Ladies, you have to recognize the signs. Now, to her credit, she was trying to get away from this guy. She was trying to get her new place, move on with her life. She recognized that he was no good. But he, in his own sick mind, did not want to let her go. And this normally happens, ladies, when you get with men that are animals. When you get with these kind of beasts, these men, they don't know how to let go. They don't know how to move on. And they decide to take you out if they can't have you. This lady had her whole life ahead of her. Probably made some mistakes, recognized that it's not healthy to be with this type of guy. The man is probably frustrated with his life because it says he used to attend the university, which means that there's a possibility that he is no longer active, probably failed. His dreams probably fell apart. So now he want to control her. And it's unfortunate that these type of things always happen. It's like there's a trend of men just killing women, all out of jealousy, because they can't get their life together, or they can't have this woman in their life. And these women are literally being extinguished because these guys don't know how to control their emotions. You know? And as I said earlier, you know, as of August 2nd, there had been a total of 101 people that had been shot in Durham this year. According to police statistics, 18 of those people had been killed. That was down from 140 reported shootings, 21 of them fatal. By the same time, in 2024, and 119 reported shootings in 2023, 23 of them fatal. And these type of things is going on in the black community, guys. But when we talk about these topics, people get mad. People get upset. They try to deter you from the content because they want to act like the black community is a bed of roses and everybody's just having a good time. You never really hear a lot of YouTubers talk about these topics because they want to protect the criminals, especially a lot of these black men on YouTube. They don't touch these topics because they want black men to appear like angels when most black men are out here killing women because they're in their feelings, you know, because the woman decide enough is enough. She's ready to go. And, you know, she's not trying to stay with this guy no more. And for whatever reason, these men resort to violence, you know. That's what's going on. And now this lady lost her life. You know, students at the university is mourning the loss. And another ninja is dead because he couldn't handle being cut off. And this is what a lot of these men are doing, guys. A lot of men are unaliving their women. London Powers, 21 years of age, dead because of a demon, Damon Tinsley. Demon-possessed, narcissist. Most likely was trying to force his way into this woman's life. She didn't want to have nothing to do with him. You heard what the friend said. The friend said Damon tried to turn the gun on her. Make it make sense. It was absolutely sick, guys, that these type of things is happening in the black community. And when we talk about these stories, people get upset. Oh, you're putting the black community down. You're a federal informant. You're this, you're that. I mean, you guys make up all these excuses watching these agents on YouTube that work for the devil, that don't want the black community to be held accountable. The killings need to stop. Too many women are dying at the hands of black men that don't know how to control their emotions. Ladies, you got to be careful with the kind of guys you date. If these guys show any signs of violence in terms of putting their hands on you, you got to let go and move on. You got to seek the help that you need. And you got to work fast. Get your family involved. Get your brothers, your cousins. You know, you got to get people involved so they know exactly what's going on, so that you're protected. If not, you're going to have these demons walking the earth, just unaliving women. This lady had her whole future ahead of her. She probably had plans of success, completing her education. Now it's all gone. I told you guys the world is evil. I told you guys stop putting your trust in people. It's a tragedy, guys.
Yeah, a very traumatic situation. And so we spoke with London's friend, Cheyenne Boyd, and Cheyenne says that London was actually in the midst of moving out of the apartment.
Think about that. Listen, Cheyenne pretty much made it very clear that her friend was getting ready to move out.
That she shared with her ex-boyfriend at the time.
She shared the apartment at the time. See, that's the bad part right there. Sharing an apartment with a demon. But she found a way of getting out. Guy didn't want to take no for an answer.
She was really excited about a fresh new start, but all of that was cut short.
And she was just so happy to finally be moving out, getting her own place. The apartment she lived at with her ex-boyfriend.
Cheyenne Boyd describes the final moment she shared with her friend London Powers. They met freshman year at North Carolina Central.
And if anybody have the video with the friend or wherever the video is where she talked about the situation, please send that to my Instagram at Ringo TV Reactions so that I could get the full story of exactly what the friend had to say.
University.
And she was also saying she would never deal with no man like that again. She said she knows the signs to look for and she would just leave if a man ever came to her acting like that ever again.
So that mean that she learned the signs, she recognized this guy was no good, and she decided to get out. So she probably was physically being abused, verbally abused. Damon probably put his hands on her multiple times, and she said, no, I can't deal with this. And she wanted to leave.
But before that could happen, Durham police received a call from the Camden Point apartments on Monday afternoon. Cheyenne says London's ex-boyfriend, Damian Tinsley, who once played football at St. Aug's University, showed up unexpectedly.
Notice they said he once played football at St. Aug's University. He once played football. You see that, guys? So
North Carolina.
This is where I get this from, right? Let me see if I can pull this up. Now, if you look, because nobody released any photos, and this is what's concerning me. Nobody released any photos, but this particular image is what I got in my research of a guy that was playing football at St. Aug's, University. So again, it could be the guy. It may not be the guy. That's why I covered his eyes so that there's no, mistaken identity situation. But it could be the guy. If anybody have any info about said boyfriend to confirm that this is the fella, let me know. Because I don't understand how these guys commit these crimes and they don't put their picture out there. Like, why not? Could have been a white guy. You know what I mean? Could have been a white guy, could have been a black guy, but in Durham, at that apartment complex, that's predominantly black area. That's the black community. And a lot of times, these young ladies, man, they be dealing with these savages and these animals. And they just don't know how to move on with themselves. He used to play football. So I don't know. This could be your guy. This could be the killer right here, guys. And they just trying to hide who the person is. And if this is the guy, it's a pretty big guy. So him putting hands on her, he could do a lot of damage to this young lady. She probably was living with him at his apartment. He probably had a job somewhere, whatever the case is, and was being abusive. She wanted out, decided to get herself together, and things went left from there. It's unfortunate, but this is life.
There was a brief argument. Then Cheyenne says Damian got physical with London. That's when London tried to call 911 before things took a deadly turn.
You see that? He got physical with her, started putting hands, started beating her up, And this is how it ended.
She says her address. She's like, he has a gun. That's literally all she was able to say.
Cheyenne says Damian shot London before turning the gun and firing a shot towards her. Cheyenne says she wasn't hit and that Damien looked her in her eyes before taking his own life.
You see that? Damien had a demon. He even fired a shot at Cheyenne. You see how that works, guys? When these demons crash out, they want to take everybody with them. But yet people get mad at me for reporting on these stories when you have these women being abused by these men. It's sick.
I'm on the phone with the police. I'm screaming. I'm like, somebody please help me.
Damien died at the scene and London later died at the hospital.
Damon went straight to the lake of fire. One-way ticket. One-way ticket to Hell. That's where he went.
I just can't believe London's not here with me. And it's just crazy. I just really feel bad for her family because I just really feel bad for everybody.
London was a junior at Central studying social work and preparing to intern at the Durham Center for Senior Life. She also worked at a local Walgreens, and her death has shaken all those who knew and worked with her.
Shell shock, it doesn't feel real, to, like I said, you go from talking to somebody, seeing somebody every day, saying active in messages, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's a void.
If anybody have the social medias of London Powers, send that social medias to my Instagram at Ringo TV Ringo TV Raw on Instagram. Send it there. And any information regarding the friend who was speaking in this particular news episode, send that video as well so that we could do some further investigation on whether or not this particular individual that's in the image is the actual guy. If we can find out, if we can confirm that this is the guy, then I'll practically air who the person is. You know what I mean? So you can see who they really are rather than covering up their face. Because this is unfortunate that a young lady is dead because of a guy who just don't know how to say no and let go. Probably had a failed career. His football career probably ended. Whatever reason, it just didn't work out for him and he's just miserable. And he's mad that she was able to move on with her life, her education, her job, her business. And she probably surpassed him. And a lot of times these guys get jealous, ladies. They really get jealous. They just don't want to grind. They don't want to put in the work. They become lazy and dependent on you. And at that point, when you outgrow a man and you realize this man ain't going nowhere, you can't stay there and be abused. You got to move on. So that's all I'm going to say for now, guys. You ladies be safe out there. Ignore these demons that try to seduce you in, especially in regards to relationships when they're not contributing to nothing and you're just literally doing everything, and then they want to put hands on you and abuse you. You don't got time for that. All right? You don't got time for that, guys. So I'm going to get up on out of here. If you like the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Click the notification bell to be notified when I go live or upload a video. And, tell a friend about Ringo TV Reactions. We do the best commentary and criticism on YouTube. We break down videos, news stories, investigative reporting, and so forth. So y'all be safe. I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.
If you like our content, consider supporting via Cash App at $Ringo TV Raw. Become a patron on patreon.com for exclusive video content not shown on YouTube. You could also support through PayPal at paypal.me/Ringo TV Raw. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified of new content. Follow me on Instagram at Ringo TV Raw.
This is Ringo TV Reactions, the only channel on YouTube bringing you the truth 100% raw
and uncut. I'm out. Peace.